What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Championship Sunday of the MLG Winter Championship event. We're down to 8 players in this 32-person bracket. Quick reminder, on the other stream, Innovation is currently up 2-0 against Rain. So if you're watching online, definitely pull up both streams so you do not miss any of the action. And if you're watching the web stream, we'll try to keep you updated as that progresses, throughout the morning, afternoon, and evening. But it is time. Game 3, Flash versus Parting. These guys are tied 1-1. They are so evenly matched, back and forth games throughout. And here we are on Aquilon Waste. Game number 3 in the top left-hand location. We have the red Terran player who took a very back and forth game 1, but then fell to an all-in from his opponent in game number 2. He is considered by many to be God himself. He is the red Terran player, Flash. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand location, representing Team SK Telecom T1 and Protosses around the world. He is the blue Protoss player, Parting.
I feel like Aquilon Waste is going to be a map where Flash is going to feel very, very confident going forward. It's fairly easy for Terran to get those 4 bases. We saw Neoplanet S, what he was able to do with 4 bases. Also, if you look at the basically geographical locations between the main and one of the potential thirds, or the other potential third if you expand linearly like Parting did on Planet S, look at that location relative to the natural. Both of them are extremely close by air, but for ground forces to move between these bases, it takes a very long time. I expect Flash to really exploit this feature using medevacs to their fullest capabilities.
Yep, got to make those choices. Aquilon Waste has produced some phenomenal games in this tournament, and I feel like this one is going to be no exception. And again, guys, text your friends, tell people this is going on, because this is good stuff. This is the best play you're going to see in the world right now. This is a match that could very well be a final in any other tournament, but there's so many amazing players at this event that a matchup like this in the round of 8 is pretty much inevitable. Of course, a reminder, Innovation currently up 2-0 against Rain on the blue stream. And we'll have to see what these two players do. Now, Flash opening up with that gas a little bit earlier. And it remains to be seen what he's going to do with that. It could be an early reactor, it could be a Reaper.
I would anticipate a factory, given the fact
could be a factory.
I lied. Reactor.
Could be a reactor.
So it's going to be that reactor, probably a command center soon to follow that on the low ground.
Yep.
Getting the reactor earlier is a build I've seen a lot more Terrans using lately. Of course, it basically allows you to have a lot more Marines that, at the time the Mothership Core and Stalker pressure can hit, you can produce them much faster. You don't have to worry about getting that second barracks up.
Sneaky stuff, Mr. Axlav. Stargate.
Oh, you're going to see some proxy Stargate. There it goes. Parting, loving that Oracle play. Game 1, game 2, now game 3 again going for the Stargate, but this time right next to Flash's main base.
So Flash has scouted 2 gases with that SCV, scouting the lack of the expansion from his opponent. Gonna hide that SCV. Nope, still gonna be scouting around. We'll keep an eye on what Flash sees here is very, very important. Can he identify exactly what his opponent is?
You know what's really amazing?
Oh! SCV.
SCV might I see
what
the second
ninja.
gateway. You know what I find actually really amazing about Parting? He built a 3rd pylon in his main.
Oh, great point.
He didn't need to supply.
Nope.
He built it so when Flash's SCV would scout him, Flash would see 3 pylons and he wouldn't automatically instantly assume there's a proxy. Now, of course, Flash saw a second gateway coming down and off timing. He probably knows something is going on, but if he only saw 2 pylons, he would have instantly known there was a proxy.
He has a couple Marines scouting around here, actually a Marine and an SCV. Going to be vulnerable because there is a Stalker here from Parting. This might be a similar build, but look at this Marine heading to the top side of the map. Look at its rally location. It might not even matter, the Oracle going straight to the main base. So Flash is going to see this, but right when he sees it, the Oracle is going to be in his main. Will Flash be prepared?
Oracle's coming in there, flashes the front, defending nothing in the main though. Engineering base starts to go down. How many SCVs will fall? Oracle just scouting right now, not wanting to use its activate pulsar ability.
I think that means he wants to do that same push as before. He wants to dedicate all of his resources, all of his energy on those Oracles on a frontal attack. But the difference here is Flash scouted that Stargate. He should know this is coming. Already has 2 bunkers here at his front door, already pulling SCVs. A huge difference compared to last game. Has a Widow Mine here as well, which is going to be instrumental in this defense.
Widow Mines are immensely powerful against Stalkers, Oracles, pretty much everything Protoss. They're at the front of the bunkers there. Using that Envision ability to snipe the Widow Mines, great moves by Party there, but the Oracles do go down. The Stalkers are going to be cornered now.
Stalkers trying to sneak by, but where do they go from here? Remember, if he tries to go up into the main base, Flash can just completely wall off, raising the supply depots.
Focusing down the brains.
The Stalkers are all going to fall, though, except for 3. 1 getting very low in health. A lot of SCVs dying there, but great hold there from Flash.
Amazing hold there. Widow Mine's so instrumental in that defense parting. Stargate is unpowered now, running off with just pure warp gates. He's got to go in for another strike, but when is he going to do it? Is he going to try to get some Zealous to tank the bunker damage? Is he going to try to run in there? Maybe just force some SCVs to pull. Looks like he's going to expand behind us. Of course, 2 bunkers up. Very hard to break that. Flash continuing his progression, reactivating out Marines, cranking out those Widow Mines. He's got a Medevac and a Viking on the field as well.
So where we stand at this point, I think it's safe to say Flash is going to be ahead in this game as of right now. Has that national expansion on the field, has 2 orbital commands, even in Harvesters, but as a Terran player, it's okay to be a little bit behind the Harvesters because you have those mules. Adding on, it looks like 2 additional barracks. He's got a factory, already a starport on the field, and he knows where his opponent's Stargate is. So he knows his opponent, first of all, has to rebuild any sort of additional tech progression, and he knows where the Stargate is, so he can just go kill it, so it can't be used later. And he knows his opponent invested a lot into those Stalkers. When you're investing a lot into Stalkers in the early game, oh, hold on. Medevac trying to get in there, do some damage, but he's going to back away. But when you're investing into these Stalkers early on in the game, that's a decent amount of gas. And these Stalkers aren't being used to necessarily like contain his opponent to 1 base. Flash is already on 2 base. He's comfortable there. So I feel like a timing exists here for Flash to potentially push before Party can have an adequate response because he doesn't have any sentries building up energy because he invested all that gas into those Stalkers. So it's going to be a little bit dangerous for Party in this game. There's going to be a lot of potential timing windows here for Flash, and we'll have to see how Party can adjust his play to potentially fend off those potential attacks.
Of course, going forward in this game, not only does he have no sentries now, but he wants to invest in the robotics, like the Twilight Council, the Forge upgrades, the Observers. There's so much gas expenditures the Protoss wants to make. Very hard to justify warping in more sentries. Of course, he has that Mothership Core out now to defend, so he can use Photon Overcharge if needed. I believe his Mothership Core. Oh, there it is. It's over at that potential 3rd base. Widow Mine scrolling in here. Will that get a hit off? Not going. The Mothership Core is going to skedaddle out of there. Flash moving forward, though, with Marines, Medevacs, no stim pack, no combat shield, but they still have Medevacs, and like you mentioned before, there's no sentries from Party at the moment yet.
Yeah, he just warped in 3. They're starting to accumulate that energy. Of course, he would love to have more time to get more energy from those, but here goes Ignite Afterburners from the Medevacs going to the main base, but the Stalkers are there. Parting, very good sense, able to spot those Medevacs, moving his Stalkers a little bit over to the right, but Flash is going to return those Medevacs to the middle of the map, going to redrop those Marines. I feel like a stim timing here is inevitable. Look out for Flash to hit his opponent's front door right when +1 completes, right when combat shields completes, and right when stim completes.
Observers seeing everything Flash is doing. Flash again, sharking with the Medevacs, trying to get Sky information. Party going Templars of both fashions. Dark Templar Shrine, High Templar Shrine under construction. That's a lot of gas being put into buildings. 3 sentries in the army. Photon Overcharge is on his natural in anticipation of attack. Party's moving out.
Oh, wow. The Observer sees all of this. He's going to trap a few Marines and 2 Marauders. The Medevacs very confused. He might just go straight to the natural, try to flank this army. If he can take out the sentries, that'd be huge. He's going to drop right behind the sentries. All of his upgrades are about to finish, and just like that, Parting is trapped. Sentries are gone. Only Stalkers remain. Great pick off there by Flash.
Flash pulling out all the great moves. Dark Shrine is not yet complete. High Templar Archives is done, but there's no Storm. Really try to warp it in Archon to help defend this. Only a few Stalkers here. Realizes he can't hold. GG from Parting, and amazing defense by Flash early. Macking it out, playing for his, basically just using his advantage to get that bigger army and push in for the win.
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple game as far as we're talking about, all right, why did this happen? Why did he win? Parting invested a lot into that first push. It was an identical push to the last game, but there were a few differences. Of course, Flash was able to scout exactly what was going on. He got those Widow Mines out, which was, they were so instrumental in holding off that attack. Of course, we saw the Envision from the Oracle able to see those Widow Mines, so able to snipe those down, but the fact remained, Flash had 2 bunkers up, he had Marines inside, he had SCVs ready to repair, and you know, the build from Parting that he used, it's kind of designed to take your opponent off guard, because if they react like perfectly, kind of how Flash reacted, obviously it's not going to work. And then once that happens, you're investing so much into this attack, you're delaying your expansion, you're not building probes, you're delaying upgrades, you're using gas on Stalkers and not sentries, not additional upgrades, not observers. It's going to be really tough to hold off that timing push. That's going to be inevitable from your turn opponent.
Very, very strong timing there by Flash, knowing he had medevacs. Parting was scrambling to catch up in tech, couldn't quite get it up in time. And I like the point you mentioned about how that push is really designed to take your opponent off guard, and Flash is like, well, you got me good in game 2, but game 3, I'm all over your shenanigans. Great scouting by Flash, great game sense too. He really, the number of times you catch him off guard is so rare. I mean, I know I talk about that a lot. People are like, what about the last game? I mean, game 2, literally those bunkers were like 5 seconds late.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is 5 StarCraft seconds. They're really 3 seconds late.
Right.
It could have gone either way in that one. This one as well. Parting, I think that build, he's going to have to retire for the series. Flash is figured it out. But as we saw in game 1, Parting's Templar control is stellar. If he can get to that late game, those Templar can do wonders for him.
Yeah, again, game 1 we saw very methodical play. Didn't feel pressured to take a fast third base. Of course, that's very, very dangerous to do against a player like Flash. Getting up that tech, getting out those High Templars, getting out those Colossi, really getting a meaty composition. Of course, from then on, you have to be very cost efficient with how you progress in the game, which is what happened with Parting. I mean, he was trying to be cost efficient throughout, but it got to a certain point where Flash was on 3 bases, just had too big of a lead, and of course, taking game 1. So, guys, we're currently we're at a state where Flash is up 2-1 in this best-of-5 series, which means Flash is 1 win away from advancing to the next round of this bracket to advance to the Final 4. But Parting, he's going to have something to say about it. Parting has to win 2 in a row to get to the next round, and of course, the loser of this match is out of the 2013 MLG Winter Championships. Guys, don't go anywhere. Coming up next is going to be Game 4 between Flash and Parting after a quick break.